Welcome in to the MMA War Room Pod, your MMA podcast with Shrikar Rajendran. I'm Sam Corcoran, back in the War Room. It's been a minute, been on the grind at work, but we're back here previewing, I should say, UFC Winnipeg. They're going to Winnipeg for, I believe this is the first time, Shrikar?
Yep, first time in Winnipeg.
So, going to Winnipeg with, albeit, and Shrikar and I have been talking about this all week, along with Chris. This is a terrible card for an arena. I feel like I haven't seen this. There's been some Apex cards, like the typical Apex slop. This feels like Apex slop, quote unquote. And it's not, and it's being in an arena. Granted, Winnipeg is a small arena. They've never been to Winnipeg before. But Shrikar, I don't know about you. I feel like they should have done this. This card, they're doing this card a little dirty. I feel like this card is not getting enough. Like, there's some better Apex events, better Apex cards coming up. To put this one in Winnipeg, I feel like is a bit of a disgrace.
I think the name value is weak. Like, we cannot pretend otherwise. The name value on this card, like, terrible. It sucks. You look at, Burns versus Gilbert Burns versus Mike Malott as the main event. That would be a really good co-main anywhere else, like on any other fight night. I thought Burns and Malott would be the co-main for this card, and they would have Zahabi as your main event, but Zahabi obviously got the White House booking. But it's weird because when these cards actually do play out, I think we're going to be saying that it delivered. Whenever we put low expectations on an event, it always goes past our expectations. And when we put high expectations on an event, besides 327, besides Seattle, it'll usually underdeliver. So just because we say that it's bad on paper, do not take that to heart. I won't say avoid watching it. Because there are some good fights.
That's why we're here to preview it. If we told you to avoid watching it, we would not be previewing it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the card right now. There's some good fights on here. I'm definitely excited for the debut of Maricio Barbosa, who is a top 5 guy from this Contender Series class, in my opinion. The co-main with Charles Jourdain and Kyler Phillips, I think that could be a really, really good fight for what it's worth. Mandel, Nallo, and Jai Herbert. Mandel, Nallo's debut in the UFC, that should be a blast. Gokhan Sarikam versus Tanner Boser on the prelims. You look at the name value, it may not look good, but for a heavyweight fight, I think that could be another entertaining one. So, look, I think these underrated cards are the ones that we really don't give respect to, end up doing good. So, we'll see if the trend follows suit this time.
And we've talked about in the past, too, a lot of these cards that don't have the name value, it's a lot of good prospects on this. Guys that you may hear down the line, maybe in the next few years, maybe way higher on these cards. So it's interesting to see a lot of first fighters on this one, too. It's something I'm noticing, which I think is going to be very interesting. So leads me to the first fight we have, the Canadian Jamie Siraj making his debut against John Yanis. Shrikar, I think I can start with this one. Jamie Siraj is coming in. His record right now, if Tapology will stop throwing up ads, his record right now is 14-2. Or 14-3, I should say. He's on a 2-fight win streak. Pretty active fighter, too. Fought in October and then fought again in February. Now he's fighting in April, first UFC fight. I like him in this one. I think you look at the stats for him. He has a lot more. He's kind of an all-around fighter. 28% knockouts, 50% subs, 21% decision. So a guy that can really do it all. I think going up against John Yanis, a guy who you look at does not really have much of a ground game. I think he gets it done by sub here. So give me Jamie Siraj by sub, the Canadian getting it done early.
So if you guys want some context on Jamie Siraj, or you may not know who he is, he won 8 of his first 10 fights, and then he was forced into a medically induced coma. And he was sidelined from competing for 4 years. He had a rare skin condition. Yeah, so apparently he had like a rare skin condition, some sort of syndrome. He came back in 2023, and since then he's been 6-1. 4 of those wins are by finish. And now he is a bantamweight for the first time since 2019. I'm literally seeing a tweet right now that's listing all this information for me, so I'm just translating it to you guys.
How long was he in a coma for?
What'd you say?
3 years? How long was he in a coma for, you said?
4 years. He was not competing.
My God. Jesus Christ. 4 years not competing.
I don't know if he was in the coma for 4 years, but he wasn't fighting for 4 years.
I'm not going to show the picture. I just saw a picture pop up of the.
So yeah, the picture you're seeing is Jamie Siraj.
Hell. Yeah. Oh my God. That is disturbing.
Yeah.
Look at that on your own discretion. But you know what? Credit to Jamie Siraj for not only like overcoming that and surviving, but being in the UFC, making his debut. This is a huge moment for him.
For sure. But there are some things that may be more important than a good story, and that's making sure there's parity on the War Room. I think that's our number one priority here. So I'm actually going to take John Giannis. Siraj, you mentioned it, Sam. He's a solid grappler. I think the injury absence does still scare me, and how he's like, obviously he's been back since 23, so it's not as big of an issue, and he's had a good amount of fights since then. But this is a jump up in competition, right? And I think John Giannis, he is, I think he's more dangerous on the feet. He's more composed on the feet. He definitely has a good lead hook. He has a good straight left. He can do some work to the body. His last 5 fights are basically him getting subbed or winning by TKO. So looking at a glass half full for John Giannis, I'm going with him by TKO in this one. Let's get some parity early on. This is definitely one I could flip, but I'm seeing some sharp money on Giannis right now. Why not? Let's go for it.
Interesting. We'll see what Chris has. Who gets the lone wolf in this one? It'll be interesting. Next up, John Castaneda versus Mark Vologdin. Vologdin making his debut in the UFC, I believe. Shrikar, who do you have for this one?
Vologdin kind of reminds me of, in some ways, like a Piotr Jan. If he kind of like was more of a brawler, I think that would be a Mark Vologdin. He's short, he's stocky, he loves his body shots. He kind of just bulldozes in. My one thing with Mark Vologdin that really scares me, especially in a matchup against John Castaneda, is his striking defense is horrible. And I think that's something that Castaneda can really take advantage of. Obviously, Castaneda is, he kind of switches up his stances, but he's a southpaw. I hope you guys didn't get that Outlook notification that just popped up on my computer. But
it's on I'm sharing the screen, dude.
Okay, so you're good.
Yeah.
What was I mentioning? He's a southpaw. He has a good straight left. He has good head kicks. I think Castaneda could definitely rock Vologdin, but I think Vologdin is tough enough to survive. I like Mark Vologdin too, but this is just a tough matchup as your debut. I'm going to go John Castaneda. I'm going to say he wins this with his size. And, he's 5'6" compared to 5'3". I think the height advantage will come into play. And he also just has more experience. John Castaneda spent a lot of time in the UFC. Vologdin, this is his UFC debut. And he's coming off an absolute war, too. What could that have done to his body? This is a pretty quick turnaround after a fight like that. Not quick, but somewhat quick turnaround. So I'm going to take Castaneda. This is another one that I could flip. And the odds are definitely reflecting that. It's very, very close to being a pick'em. Castaneda, I believe, is the slight favorite, but I'll take the vet.
He's the slight favorite and has more bets on him. I don't know about the money stats. I haven't seen that. Okay. But yeah, I forgot Vologdin was in that war on Contender Series where he lost and got a contract, which is crazy. And that was the one that Dana gave like immediately after, right?
And he gave him a $25K bonus.
Yeah, it wasn't even like Dana just did it mid show. It was crazy. It is a very quick turnaround though. Like it was an absolute war coming off a loss. Vologdin, Castaneda, this one I'm very conflicted on. This one I think I could flip as well. I'm going to lean Castaneda. I just think he's a more experienced fighter. Vologdin has not proved it to me yet. He lost when he was on Contender Series. That doesn't prove it to me. I understand he got the contract. I understand he put up a fantastic fight. You got to win the fight, though. And was he worthy of that contract? I think only time will tell. I think we'll see. I do like the idea that Dana did give him the contract. Give him a shot. Why not? I think Castaneda is a good opponent. I have Castaneda winning, and I think this one could flip, though. But I'm leaning Castaneda right now, I have to say.
And to be fair, we can't hold it against him for losing that Contender Series fight. I specifically mentioned, I didn't mention anything about that fight in my analysis here because I can't hold it against him for losing, but Castaneda in general is a tough debut, so we'll see.
Yeah. Jamie Lynn Horth, a Canadian, another Canadian on this card. She's taking on JJ Aldrich. This is a very close one according to the odds. Aldrich is a slight underdog at the moment. Shrikar, what are your thoughts on this one? I'll start with you.
I'm riding with the momentum here. I'm going Jamie Lynn Horth. She absolutely destroyed Teresa Bleda last time out. And she is the physically bigger, stronger fighter by a meaningful margin. She's been more active too against someone like Andrea Lee, who checked out. I mean, Aldrich can look great. She can put on a masterclass. She's definitely slick. She stays in southpaw. She's a good straight left. She has solid lateral movement. She's a BJJ black belt as well. But Horth just doesn't let it be that kind of fight. She's going to close the distance, and Aldrich doesn't thrive from behind in these ugly brawls. So Jamie Lynn Horth is fighting at home in Canada after a highlight reel knockout in her last fight. I mean, her confidence is probably going to be through the roof. I'm going Horth by decision. I think this is going to be a scrappy fight. It'll be a competitive fight, but I see Jamie Lynn Horth taking it on the cards 29-28.
Yeah, I got the same. This one I feel fairly confident about going with Jamie Lynn Horth. You said it, Chuk. Her highlight reel knockout has a lot of momentum going for her behind a Canadian background or behind a Canadian fan base. I think this is a good time to bring up this point. I'm very curious to see what the Winnipeg fan base is like. It's something we've never seen before. Is this like, are we going to see Winnipeg for the future? This is going to be like a big prove-it fight for the UFC in Winnipeg and that fan base if they want to bring it back. It's not a big market. They're not going to go to Winnipeg often unless the fans are rowdy. This could be, matter of fact, this could be the only time they ever go to Winnipeg. I'm going to be completely honest. But I'm going, anyways, back to the point. I'm going Jamie Lynn Horth. You mentioned that knockout. I think that was great. She's on a bit of momentum right now. Aldrich is just so inactive too. That's the other thing. Like sometimes I just can't trust an inactive fighter at the end of the day. And I trust Jamie Lynn Horth a lot more. I think she gets this win and moves into the bantamweight or the flyweight rankings. Excuse me. I was going to say bantamweight. That weight class needs a lot of work with their rankings, but flyweight too, I guess. But
yeah,
Jamie
last time Aldrich fought was last March. That's crazy.
Yeah,
it has really been more.
Women's, yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of women's bantamweight, Melissa Scare-Croden versus Daria. Oh my God,
you got it. Power through
Zelezniakova. Oh man, woo! That was a tongue twister. I believe the last time, who was the last person Melissa Croden fought? I remember it
was Luana Santos.
And I believe we all went Croden.
I picked Croden. I think both of y'all picked Santos.
Yeah. No. Chris definitely picked. Oh, no. I think that was against Tainara Lisboa is what I was thinking.
Lisboa, we all picked Croden.
Mm-hmm. We all picked Croden. That's what I was thinking. So she was on a good roll up until that loss. Now she's going against, I'm just going to call her Daria. It's been a long day. Pronouncing that name is a hard shot. But anyways, these are both fighters that could move into the rankings soon. And I kind of like this. I like this fight a lot. It's very even on odds. I'm going to go with Melissa Scare-Croden here. I think she's just been, I know she's coming off a loss. She's been a little more active. And you also look at the stats. Just the both of these fighters, their feet game or their top. What's the best way to say it? When they're standing up, I always say ground game. I ground game and air game. I get confused, but when they're standing up, I should say, Croden is a lot better. You look at those stats right there. A lot of knockouts. She can sub too if needed, but mainly a knockout artist. I like that. I think I will take her by knockout here. I think this can end in a knockout. I was debating decision, but she's never won by decision. I think she can get it done in a knockout.
All right, I'm going to take the upset. I told y'all we were going to get parity on this podcast. We are getting parity. I'm taking Daria Jelezniakova, and I believe she is plus 120. Yeah, plus 120 now.
She's 114 now. So according to DraftKings,
I really think that Croden is the favorite, partly because we're in Canada. The Luana Santos fight was fine, but she was getting taken down in that one. And the win over Lisboa, I just don't rate. Like, Lisboa is not good. So I don't know why Croden is the favorite here. I genuinely don't understand the line, to be honest. Jelezniakova is faster. She is 5 years younger. She's still coming into her prime. She's 10-2. And her only loss that she hasn't avenged is Eileen Perez. And Eileen Perez is an elite grappling monster, Against Croden, she doesn't have to worry about that. So I think Jelezniakova just outworks her on volume, and the judges give her the decision. The striking speed difference is definitely real. Croden is going to be on the back foot in this fight. I'll put it this way. Somebody from Team Canada is losing. I think it's Croden. So give me Daria Jelezniakova as the dog here. And I think it should really be flipped, to be honest. I'm pretty confident in this one.
Interesting. I do see the point, and I do think Daria is a fantastic, she's one of the top prospects in bantamweight, which albeit is not saying much, but she is one of the top prospects in bantamweight. And was someone who I believe I had earlier in the year, maybe 2025. I had her lined up for a ranked fight. I forgot who it was against, but I had like matchmaking. I think I matchmade her for a ranked fight. So this is absolutely someone who is dangerous. And I think Melissa Croden is going to give her a good test, because these are two fighters that like to be on their feet for the most part. I think it's a good test to see, is this a passing of the guard, or is Melissa Croden still that gatekeeper into the rankings for the bantamweight division, or near the rankings for the bantamweight division, I should say. So it's something I might flip in the future, but I'll hold on to Melissa Croden right now. Now we move on.
Quick question. So the only fights that we've differed on are Siraj and Giannis, and Croden and Jelezniakova.
Yes. So we're two fights with parity so far.
All right, there we go.
So, which is it. I'm curious to see what Chris has. Anyways, I'm actually just looking at. I'm just scrolling through this card right now. I believe there's a Canadian on. There's nearly a Canadian almost every fight. Yeah, that's actually huge, because I had another Canadian, Tanner Boser, taking on Gorkan Sorikam, making his debut. It says he's out of Belgium, but there's a Turkey flag there. So
he's from Turkey.
He's from Turkey. That's a very Turkish name. He's probably fighting out of Belgium right now. Shrikar, what do you have for this one?
Look, I'm going with Gokhan. Like, his name sounds like Goku, so
Goku, and that's why I'm picking him.
Nah, but he's genuinely a well-rounded fighter. I think he can strike at a high level. He has real grappling chops, and he's been training with, I believe, Volkov. He's been training with Spivak. He's physically a full-sized heavyweight. I think if Gokhan gets this to the ground and just establishes top position, Boser is going to have problems. And I like Boser too. He's got fast hands for a heavyweight. Definitely is a high volume fighter. He has relentless pressure. The only UFC fight where he got, really outstruck was against Kute Laba, which was definitely a shocker. He left UFC on a W. He always, he fights hard. He fights really hard, but I guess the volume doesn't matter much if you're on your back. So I think Gokhan's grappling is the difference. I'm going to take him by decision. I would not rule out a finish on the ground, but I think Boser is a tough guy to put away fully. So I'm going to say Gokhan gets it done on the scorecards.
This is a tough one for me, because I think when I look at, I was looking at the wrong page. Never mind. Okay. Anyway, sorry. I had my stats mixed up. That's why I was a little confused. I had my stats mixed up, but I have them now. They were what I thought they are. I am taking Gokhan here. I think when you look at he's a lot more up and coming. I think he's on a 3-fight win streak, pretty active, been doing well. Meanwhile, Boser hasn't fought in almost a year. Almost a year. And still, like, his fight before that was 2023. I think Gokhan has just been doing a lot better personally. I'm just riding the momentum here, I think, honestly. I think he gets it done by knockout. It's also crazy. I'm looking at Tanner Boser's fights. His second fight of the UFC was against Cyril Gane. Kind of crazy how it's always crazy. Like, this is why these cards right here, you look back at years later, it's like, oh, this card was terrible. And you realize, oh, wow, there's a future champion contender that was on this card taking on a random guy. Pretty cool. But anyways, I'm going Gokhan here. I like kind of what you said, Shrikar. A lot more physical. I think that's what you need right here. And I believe this is a UFC debut for, yes, this is a UFC debut for me. He was at Bellator. He had 2 bouts in the PFL that got canceled. But now making his way back, I like where he's headed right now. So I'm curious to see how he does. Heavyweight needs some more prospects, so we'll see where Gokhan goes. Let's move on to Julian LeBlanc versus Robert Valentin. LeBlanc making his UFC, a lot of UFC debuts on this card, man.
Yeah.
Shrikar, I'll start with you. What do you have for this one? This is another close one, actually. I'll let you go. But this one and the fight before have the same odds, the exact same odds for the money line. Minus 148 for Robert Frey, plus 124 for the Canadian. So Julian LeBlanc and Tanner Boser.
I don't know. A lot of people have been hyping up Julian LeBlanc, and I did my due diligence and watched him. But I'm not really seeing it. Like I don't think he moves very well at all. My thing with Valentin is he has no fight IQ, but he is dynamic. He is dangerous. He has nasty KOs. I believe he got a KO in like 20 seconds back in the regional scene. I just don't think LeBlanc is there yet. So I don't know. Off gut feeling, I'm going to go Robert Valentin. I think Robert Valentin wins this one by TKO. This could be one that I flip. I promise I'll do some more digging on Julian LeBlanc. From what I've seen, it hasn't looked very, very promising in how he's going to stay at the UFC level, but maybe I'm wrong. So could be one that I switch. Follow our Instagram if you want to get our final picks, but Valentin by TKO will be my initial pick here.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I mean, I too have not seen much on Valentin. I think Shrikar, you've done a little more digging than I have. But it's just nothing screams at me UFC fighter just yet. I know the record. The record does speak for itself. The record is 8-3 right now, or 10-2. Excuse me. He's 10-2, and he's on a 5-fight winning streak. So that does speak for itself. Fairly active as well, which I like. And I am going to pick him here. I'm going to go the opposite of you, Shrikar. We're talking about Julian LeBlanc being UFC fighter and not proving anything at the UFC. What is Robert Valentin proven at the UFC level? Absolutely
exactly.
nothing.
I mean, neither of these guys are really proven anything. But
yeah, I mean, well, split decision against Torres Finney, like that's the best you're going to get? I don't think so, man. And it just gets fed to a Deva Gautier. Yeah, I think I have to pick LeBlanc. Just I kind of like I did with the last fight with Gokhan, just riding the wave here. I think LeBlanc gets it done. Probably, I would say that I don't expect many fireworks from this fight. I think this one goes to a decision. And if Valentin loses this, he gets cut. If LeBlanc wins this, he'll get another chance. Obviously, he'll get another chance probably if you lose too. But we'll see how he does. I'm very curious to see what this fight is like. But I think I have to go LeBlanc. I feel fairly confident in that one. I feel like this is one I will not be switching up until the fight.
Yeah, I think this might be one that I could switch, but I have to do more tape study on this one.
Yeah. All right, Shrikar. I'll let you start with this one as well. I know you've been starting with a lot, but you were so excited about Maricio Barbosa for Contender Series. Tell us why, and does he get the job done against Dennis Buzuka?
Yeah, this is the main card opener, I believe, or is this the?
Oh, we are in the main card now. Yeah, sorry, I skipped. Wait, what?
Is it? Or no, it's the feature. It's the featured prelim. It's the featured.
It's the featured prelim.
Well,
also, it's weird. DraftKings says it's on the main card, but I'm not.
It's because they had to move things around because Mitch Raposo and Alan Nascimento got.
I forgot.
Canceled.
Yeah, I forgot. You're right. Is that on the main? Is that right here? No.
Well, no, that fight got canceled. It got moved. So.
I did just make sure the website was updated. We're recording this on the day that it got canceled.
Yeah, I feel bad for Dennis in this fight. Maricio Barbosa. I think he is knocking on the door of being a top 3 guy in this class for Contender Series. I think he has top 5 potential in featherweight. I genuinely think he's that good. Barbosa has 14 first-round knockout wins. 14. This guy has God-given power. Those overhand shots, you watch how he stance switches, how he disguises things. He can go from a straight right into a switch from the right hook. He is so technical and he is so violent at the same time. The only time he's been stopped is by Gabriel Santos, and Gabriel Santos is a beast. I mean, Gabriel Santos fought tooth and nail with Lerone Murphy, and he knocked out Jose Delano, who I think is the #1 guy in this Contender Series class. So losing to Gabriel Santos is not a bad thing. I just think Bazooka gets punched in the face way too much. He got dropped by Francis Marshall. He got knocked out in, I believe, 40 seconds by Jamal Emmers. He's going to show heart in this fight. He's got decent hand speed. He's got a decent left hook, but it just does not matter. Barbosa is going to land one clean, and that's the fight. So Maricio Barbosa is going to win this fight. First round knockout. I'm going to take the under in this fight. I don't know what it's at right now. I could check DraftKings,
but the under in this fight right now is, I have it pulled up. Give me a sec. Oh, sorry. I just had it. Under 1.5 is minus 175. That's a little low. What is under 1/2? Let's see.
I don't know if I'll go as far as half around, but
fight props. If I have to go the distance, yes is plus 350.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not
trying to find. I do not gamble. I'm just on DraftKings, so I don't really. Barbosa round 1 is plus 100. And the winning
I'd take that
round
all
1
day.
is minus 115. I think that's I don't gamble, but I would put some money on that. I'll tell you that much.
I would eye the first round knockout prop. I would eye first round finish props. I would eye the unders. I would eye like an under half a round. Maybe I would look at that. Maricio Barbosa is going to win this fight in the first round.
Yeah, I kind of spoiled it by saying I would take a first round finish here. But yeah, this is a Maricio Barbosa absolute dominant win. He was one of the guys, I mean, Shrikar said top 3 contender series guy. I kind of agree with that. I think he had a fantastic contender series outing. The episode of contender series that he was on was his episode, which I really thought was cool. I think he wins this fight. Dennis, unfortunately, not looking good for him. Give me Barbosa, round 1 knockout. I feel like this one, I can confidently say Chris will also choose this. This is going to be a clean sweep fight. I would not have it any other way. So, all right. Still, now we're on the main card, I believe. Gage Young taking on Thiago Moises. I said I would start this one, so I will start this one. You got 2 guys right here. Gage Young has been, he's coming off a big win. I'm trying to remember who he fought last if I pull it up.
He beat, I believe, Mahashata.
Yes, he did. It was, Mahashata at the Shanghai card. And I believe I picked, I forget who I picked. I think I had a lone wolf on this one. No, I can't. I think I picked Gage Young for this one. But anyways, Young, so he's on the loss win streak right now. His losses though are to Quillen Salkeld and Evan Elder in his UFC debut. Kind of makes his way back up against Mahashata. Now taking on Thiago Moises, a guy who's coming off a big loss. I think for this one, look, I think I'm going to go Gage Young. He did it by knockout the last one. I think he can do it again against Moises, who he's not the best striker. His defense is fine, but I think Gage Young gets it done. I don't know how exciting this fight will be, but I think it will be like a knockout or TKO for Gage Young.
I think it'll be exciting. I'm going to take Gage Young. This is kind of one that I'm unsure about. I mean, every time I start
I'm a little unsure about this one too.
Yeah, I mean, every time I start believing in Thiago Moises, he kind of just lets me down. Jared Gordon knocked him out in the first round violently. I was definitely hyped on Moises going into that fight. He beat Trey Ogden by decision. Ogden has 0 power in his hands. He went the distance. He went the distance with Ludovic Klein while getting roughed up. I just can't build confidence around Thiago Moises. Gage Young, he's 25 years old. He's coming up fast. Definitely a big pressure boxer, really comes at you. He's fast hands. Definitely a solid wrestling defense. I mean, he gave Quillen Salkeld a real fight in his debut, and we saw what Quillen Salkeld turned out to be. So he is the upside pick here, definitely. I think Gage Young's boxing is just faster than Moises at this stage. It's cleaner. Moises also got knocked out badly last time, so the chin might be going. Yeah, I'll side with you, Sam. I'm going to go Gage Young by KO, but I have a weird feeling I'm going to flip to Moises on fight day. So again, Instagram, stay tuned.
Instagram. Stay tuned for the Instagram. Lot coming there. By the way, side note, Dana White announced that I part of me doesn't want to think this is real. This is not UFC related, but it's Dana White related. That Bob Menery on Aiden Ross's boxing promotion, I didn't even know that was a thing. Bob Menery is fighting Johnny Football. Johnny Manziel going to boxing. That just seems like clout chasing, man. I will not be watching that, but I thought it would just be funny to point out, Manziel brings the money. We got to bring it.
That's for y'all. That's for you guys. That's not for me.
Yeah. All right. This is a good fight. Jasmine Jasudavicius versus Karine Silva. I think. I mean, you have the star. You have the stars on this fight. Jasudavicius, the Canadian, coming off a loss. Karine Silva coming off she's coming off a loss. Interesting.
You lost to Barber.
Oh yeah, she lost to Macy Barber, and then before that was sorry, I forgot that one because before that was the one that I had the lone wolf for, and she won, but everyone's like, oh, the other person got robbed. I remember that one
probably.
Yeah, but to that point, like Silva has not proved me much in the rankings, and Jasudavicius absolutely has. She is a heavy favorite in this one. I'm going Jasmine Jasudavicius by decision in this one. I will think Silva can't. I think Silva can't put up a fight, but it's not going to be that close. I'm going to keep it that simple. I feel so confident in this pick.
Yeah, Jasudavicius all day. This is not even a debate for me. Silva had so much hype coming in, and the truth is she is not what was advertised. She got out-wrestled against Deone Barbosa. That was the fight that me and Chris took Barbosa, you took Silva, and we thought it was a robbery. But she got out-wrestled against Deone Barbosa and still somehow won that fight. Macy Barber handled
should not have won that fight.
Her wrestling defense is mediocre. Her jiu-jitsu is overrated. Jasudavicius is, a beast. She is a beast wrestler. She's going to get takedowns, establish top position, control this fight from start to finish. Even in the striking, I don't love Silva's offense enough to worry about Jazz getting chinned. I'm going Jasudavicius by unanimous decision. I think we're going to see a chain wrestling attack from her. At least 3 takedowns, probably more. If there's a takedown prop available, I'm taking the over. And you know what? If Silva tires in the 3rd round, which she has been kind of known to do, maybe we get a submission. Maybe the finish is actually more live than we think. But I do think the scorecards is where this one ends. I'm going to go Jasmine Jasudavicius to get back on track here, get it done by decision.
I think this won't be a clean sweep when Chris puts his pick in. So you'll see that. Anyways, this one right here, I think, is going to be an absolute war. Jai Herbert versus Mandel Nallo. Maybe war is not the right term, but a violent fight. This will end in a knockout. This is why you watch these fights, because you're going to see some pretty cool stuff on this. And this could be a very cool knockout. I'm very excited. Both of these guys have won by knockout a lot. You have Mandel Nallo making his UFC debut after a good Contender Series where he got the knockout over Samuel Silva. Then you have Jai Herbert. First of all, Black Country Banger is a fire name. The Black Country is an area in the UK, for those who don't know. I think that's a fire name right there.
That is
a banger name, I should say. His UFC career has not, when you look at the record, it has not been great. But let's look at some of the names he's fought. Renato Moicano, Ilya Topuria, Ludovic Klein, Fares Ziam, and Chris Padilla. Those are his 5 losses.
That's crazy.
And 5 of his 6 losses in the UFC. So he's fought some absolute demons. He hasn't fought in a while. Now he's going against Mandel Nallo. And I believe Nallo is the slight favorite here. I'm going to take the dog in Jai Herbert. I think that experience and just being battle tested these are 2 guys going for the knockout. And I think that battle tested experience is going to pay off for Jai Herbert. I think he gets the knockout over Mandel Nallo. A guy who got the knockout in Contender Series, but I don't know about you. I wasn't as impressed with Nallo in Contender Series.
From what I remember.
I
think Nallo. Let me actually look at my power rankings to see where I had Mandel Nallo. He didn't even make my top 20, but he was an honorable mention.
Yeah. I feel like Silva was just not a good opponent from what I remember. And maybe it's been a minute. That was in September. But from what I remember, I feel like Silva was not a great opponent.
And you know what? Luke Fernandez was number 14 on my power rankings, and he got slumped by Rodolfo Bellato. So anything is possible. Herbert can definitely win this fight. I'm going Mandel Nallo by knockout. First of all, you want to talk about cool nicknames? How about Mandel Rat Garbage Nallo? I mean, this guy.
Tapology has his nickname as Mango. That's a corny nickname. I'm sorry.
I don't know if it's corny. I don't really know what it means, but
yeah,
no one knows what it means, but it's provocative. Gets the people going. Mandel Nallo, one of the most Indian-looking West African Canadian guys I've ever seen. He definitely looks super Indian, which
he really does.
Let's do a DNA test, man. Even the way he sounds, I just get the strongest.
Is this where the Indian fighters take over the UFC? The day you've been waiting for so long?
Well, it wouldn't count because he's not Indian, but he just looks.
It's a joke.
Unfortunately,
it could be the closest thing to an Indian fighter taking over.
If he's even a percentage Indian, I'm claiming it. We're just at that point. We're at
Herbert's percentage Indian. No, anyway, sorry.
Then we'll advocate for him. I'll give the same argument that you gave, that he's only fought killers in his career. But I'm gonna
go ahead. Sorry, I'll get my point after.
Oh no, sorry. I was gonna just say Mandel Nallo by knockout here. His style is just weird, and I think it's weird in the best way. He definitely has an awkward rhythm to him. He's bouncy. He throws a lot of front kicks up the center. His arms are super long, and you wouldn't really think about that until you're actually in the like from the picture. His arms don't look long, but when he's actually fighting, his arms are super duper long. He's just a guy that's hard to read. Sam mentioned it. He's on a 5-fight win streak, including a violent KO of Samuel Silva on Contender Series. His recent losses are to, I believe, Adam Piccolotti and Nick Brown, both of them. Good grapplers. If you give him a striker, I think it's a different fight. Herbert is a decent kickboxer. He has a stiff jab. He has good leg kicks. In theory, he has dangerous head kicks if you look at the Topuria fight. But I think his chin is a concern. The fact that he dropped Ilia Topuria with that high kick years ago and he still got stopped. He's more of a guy that's going to win rounds, more of a tactical guy than a finisher, in my opinion. I think Nallo has more finishing ability. He has real knockout power. So I think he catches Herbert clean. He loves to throw the front kick. I think he could catch Herbert with a front kick or the straight right hand, which he used against Samuel Silva. Herbert's going to be looking up at the lights here. So I'm going to take this fight. I'm going to take the under, and I'll check what that is for you guys. I believe it's under 2.5, though.
The under 2.5 is -160. I would slam the under. I think this fight.
I'm slamming the under here.
I don't see this fight ending in a non-knockout, honestly. Maybe decision, but like.
Yeah, I think Nallo is going to get it done, though.
Yeah. Anyways, my computer's being a little slow right now, so bear with me if nothing's working.
We got two fights.
Kyler Phillips and Charles Jourdain. We can make it through. I'm closing out some tabs. I'm trying to. This gives me a sec. Sure, I'll let you start on this fight while my stream lags and everything.
All right.
Might be time to buy a new computer. But Kyler Phillips and Charles Jourdain.
Oh yeah, he's lagging real bad.
Hello?
All right. Yep, he's lagging real bad. I'm gonna take it over from here.
I might. Okay. Go for it. You got me? I don't know. Just go ahead.
I just don't know when to talk.
I'm stopping. Okay.
You guys are going to be on edge until.
I stopped. Am I good?
Yeah, but we do need to bring the screen share back up at some point. I can probably bring it up on my end.
Kyler Phillips and Charles Jourdain. If you want to take it over from here with the screen share, go ahead.
Guys,
oh my God,
you know what time it is?
Hot.
As Sam troubleshoots his computer. Y'all know what time it is. It is Air Jourdain time. I'm going Charles Jourdain to win this fight by submission. People sleep on how good Charles Jourdain's jiu-jitsu Really is. He submitted Victor Henry. He's a real grappler. And in his last fight, he club and subbed Davy Grant, which how many people really do that to Davy Grant? I really could not tell you. So here we go. I'm going to pull the screen share right back up here. Kyler Phillips versus Charles Jourdain. You see it right there. His striking is elite. He has a really good check left hook. Incredible leg kicks, really just explosive. The athleticism is great. He has really good reflexes. I mean, at 135, he finally looks like he belongs physically. I think he was definitely undersized for featherweight. Moving down definitely helped him. Phillips, on the other hand, he has been backing up in both of his recent losses. He was literally running from Vinicius Oliveira. Rob Font, an aging, declining Rob Font, mind you, outstruck him. I don't know where his confidence is at. I think the confidence definitely looks a bit shaky. And when things get uncomfortable for Phillips on the feet, he is going to panic and he's going to shoot. And when he shoots, you're putting your neck right into Jourdain's wheelhouse. I see this ending with Jourdain catching that neck, making it 3 straight submissions at bantamweight. It's going to be another guillotine. This is the fight that breaks him into the real UFC top 15. I am genuinely excited for this one. Genuinely excited to see Charles Jourdain back in action. Don't know if it's deserving of a co-main event, but they're expecting Jourdain to deliver in this spot, and I think he will. And I believe if we look at the odds, which I closed out of, what is Jourdain's money line right now? I believe it was minus 170.
I have troubleshooting my computer where I can open another tab. Jourdain's money line is minus 135, so it's a very close fight.
Hammer it. Hammer Jourdain money line. I think he's going to get it done here.
Interesting. I'm very conflicted on this fight. I'm going to be honest with you. Kyler Phillips is a fighter that was ranked very recently. Lost to Rob Font, who, yes, aging, but also like still a pretty good fighter. And Vinicius Oliveira, one of the best prospects at bantamweight right now. He's one of the better ones. Let's be real. He's one of the better ones. He's in the rankings. I think that says a lot. And Charles Jourdain, I mean, yeah, he's on a great win streak right now. I think this is an absolutely deserving fight. Part of me wants to go. Everything in my brain is telling me to go Charles Jourdain here, but my gut is telling me Kyler Phillips. I'll tell you why. I'll get to my pick in a sec. If you've checked the Instagram, I've been slacking in the standings. I think a big reason why is recency bias is getting in the way. Charles, like the fighters that are losing a lot of fights recently and then have a matchup, which is not like a dominant matchup coming up. It's a guy who's like beatable. I'm typically picking the guy that the favorite in that and the guy who's not sliding, and there's a flip. And then Kyler Phillips will turn it around and get it done against Charles Jourdain. I'm going to go Kyler Phillips right now. That's what my gut is telling me. I feel like I got to stick to my gut. At this point in the rankings, I feel like I have to stick to my gut. It's not because of like, oh, I want to move up in the rankings. I want to get parity. I just have a gut feeling that Kyler Phillips is going to get it done. And that's the only way I can explain this pick. I'm going to be completely honest. It is just a gut feeling.
Fair enough. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take the win here, but yeah.
Anyways,
sure.
Yeah.
Right on.
All right. Well, yeah. We'll see what happens. My gut is telling me Kyler Phillips. I'm going to stick to that for now. Could change. My gut feeling could change tomorrow or before we post the picks. But anyway, Shrikar, if you want to scroll up to the main event, Gilbert Burns and Mike Malott. Now I'll start with this one because I just said before, like I had a gut, like my brain is telling me Mike Malott. When you look at Gilbert Burns, like he's on a big losing streak. He's lost a lot of fights recently. You would think this would be the time to turn it around. Surely he's got to stay in the rankings at this point, right? No, I'm taking Mike Malott here. My gut is telling me Mike Malott. My head is telling me Mike Malott. With Gilbert Burns, there's nothing screaming yes to me right now with him. He's on a 4-fight losing streak. Granted, he has fought some absolute demons in the cage. And Mike Malott, with all due respect, not a demon like JDM, like Bilal Muhammad, like some of these other guys that Gilbert Burns has fought at the welterweight division, Michael Morales. But I do think Malott is he needs a big prove it win, and I think this could be the one for him. I don't. It's a bit of a step up for what I would give him. I think I would have given him someone just outside of the rankings, just because of how stacked welterweight is. I know he beat Kevin Holland. I'm not really counting Kevin Holland as someone just outside of the rankings because Kevin Holland is so all over the place. Like you just can never tell with him. So I'm going Mike Malott for this one. My gut's telling me this to me. My brain's telling this to me. I think Mike Malott gets it done and makes his way to the rankings.
Guys, it's kind of been all three of us, but me specifically, I've been so bad with picking main events in 2026. I feel like
the last one. Yeah, hey, you know who wasn't bad at picking the main event last week?
I mean, there you go. I'm really just speaking for myself here. Let's look at since the start of the year. Gaethje Pimblett, I took Patty. Volk Lopez, I took Lopez. I got Mario Bautista. I lost on Strickland Hernandez. I lost on Moreno Cavanaugh. I lost on Holloway Oliveira. I got Vallejos. There's 2. I got Movzar. That's 3. I lost on Izzy Pfeiffer, lost on Moicano Duncan, and lost on Yuri Oberg. I've only gotten 3 main events right this year. So you have been warned. You can fade me if you'd like, and I wouldn't even be mad at you. I'll
look at mine while you give your pick.
I will also go Mike Malott here. I think Sam laid it out really well. Gilbert Burns is nearly 40 years old. He got absolutely broken against Michael Morales. The last time we saw him genuinely be Gilbert Burns was the Jack Della fight, and that knee knockout pretty much finished off whatever was left. He's been getting outstruck and just looking lost out there. Malott is in his prime. He's 34 years old. He has, sharp Muay Thai, nasty leg kicks. He has good close range boxing, really, really good timing. If you watch that Kevin Holland fight, he was landing some really clean combos. And he also nearly finished Neil Magny in that fight. And he's clearly winning that fight before gassing with 30 seconds left, and then he ended up losing. He has bounced back a lot since then. He dominated Trevin Giles. He violently knocked out Chuck Buffalo, Charles Radke. He beat Holland. I think the speed difference in this fight is going to be very, very glaring. Burns is slow now. Malott is going to be a lot faster than anything Burns has seen recently. Could Burns load up and catch him? Sure, theoretically, but I don't want to bank on a 39-year-old on a 4-fight skid finding that shot. I think Malott catches Burns clean around round 2. I think Burns will go on wobbly legs and it gets finished. You look at the odds, Malott is minus 285. I mean, I wouldn't take Malott at that price. He's minus 260 now. But I think that's just a brutal line. Just not something that I would play, especially knowing my history with main events. I'm not playing that. But I know my pick here. And if they really want to push the Canada market, I could see Malott getting, maybe like a Leon Edwards after this fight. Something in that top 10 by the end of the year. I think he definitely has some real potential at welterweight. I think we're finally seeing him learn the lessons from the Magny loss, which again, he was winning that fight until he gassed, and it was so late in the fight. So it's hard. If that fight went to decision, Malott would have won, and we wouldn't have been discussing any of this. So I do think Malott is really good. I'm definitely high on him. So I'm going to take Malott by finish here in round 2.
Interesting. Yeah, this one, give me one sec. I'm just confirming what this. Yes. Okay. I'm up on main events. I was calculating that while you were talking. Okay. I'm up on main events. I had a lone wolf on Olberg. I had a lone wolf on Joe Pfeiffer. Chris had a lone wolf on Volk. Shockingly, that one surprised me. They had a lone wolf on Volk. You picked Pimblett when he lost Streetcar. I picked Vinicius Oliveira when he lost to Mario Bautista. And Chris took Lerone Murphy when he lost to Movzar Evloev. Mm-hmm. So for the most part, I'm up. The one fight we all got wrong was Chris Duncan and Money Moicano. We all got that wrong. Same with Moreno Cavanaugh and Holloway Oliveira. So and Fluffy Strickland. Damn, we've not been good on main events this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We've not been good.
We have not been good. But I am up on main events. I took Olberg. But you know why? I remember why I took Olberg. I was not on the pod last week. I'm going to be completely honest. The reason I took Olberg was the green line.
I think I'm going to look at the green lines this week.
That's what I need to do. I was like, you know what? The green line has not been lying. The odds are like even at this point. I'm just gonna pick the green line, and it worked out. What's the account called? Again, it's like
Shout out to Jacob. Yeah, shout out to Jacob. Shout out to the green lines. He's been on a roll. I really don't know what it is, but he has been on an absolute tear with UFC. Stuff. There's nothing up yet for Malott and Burns. They face off tomorrow.
Ah, damn.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it. What's the account? What the hell is the account called?
I think JT Lines. JT _ Lines.
Yes, here it is.
Yeah,
it's funny. I'm wondering what whack stuff is going to be on there because, like, I will say this: I've been seeing it. And I was like, this is funny. This is a funny joke, and it was all like serious, like all of the lines were like fairly true when it came to
I mean, not really. I mean, like it's kind of just like he's picking his winner and then he's making the posture so that it fits his winner and his agenda, which I get, and I'm still going to give him credit because whoever.
Then what happened? It was the Moicano Duncan. It was the Moicano Duncan one. Like, okay, I'm going to share my screen again real quick. I think my computer. Yes, my computer is definitely cooled down.
I'll take this down. There you go.
Like this one is like I actually genuinely see the line. Like, is he like? Joe Pyfer is straight. Izzy is not. You scroll up a little bit. What other ones have been posted? What was the one before that? Where is it? This is the one. Okay, this is the one that threw me off. We all picked Chris Duncan, and then I see this. All right, yeah, it's what a funny joke. And then Moicano wins, and then we go last week. If I keep scrolling, like this one. I was like, okay, this is just a joke. I'll just go with it. You know what? Screw it. Olberg won that one. But, like, you go down further. Like, we saw the Izzy Pyfer one. This one, too. Like, this one, like, you could definitely, like, straight line versus curved. I forget.
Well, that one, Patterson lost.
Patterson did lose that one. It was
so he said not official. It's only for main events. Yep, there you go.
Interesting. So it's only for main events. There's some other ones if I keep scrolling. This one. Oliveira and Holloway.
No.
This is the funniest account, man.
Yeah, shout out to We Want Picks. Shout out to Jacob. Keep doing your thing, man. I might have to just tail you, brother, and then just make you lose.
We'll see. I'll see what happens. I feel very confident. I still feel very if he picks Gilbert Burns and Gilbert Burns wins, then I know like my suspicions are already high. If he picks Gilbert Burns and Gilbert Burns wins, my suspicions are going to be through the roof. This guy's going to be working for the CIA or something, man.
That would be crazy. That would be nuts. I'd just throw on a little bit of money on Burns just because if he picks him, like
I don't gamble. I might need to do that, man. That would be crazy. But anyways, UFC Winnipeg in the books or will be in the books on Saturday night. The picks that we made are in the books, but we might have some updates. Make sure you guys go follow the social down below. Chris's picks will be included. They've been included right there, but they'll be also listed out down there. But that'll do it for this episode. We'll see you for the recap on Sunday with Streetcar Gendron. I'm Sam Corkin. Y'all take it easy. Take care.